One, two, 1, 2. What up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a new episode live from the lab with Q Unique. Been doing this once a week. I was a very abrupt. That was a very abrupt applauding, or however it's grammatically spelled or said. Welcome to a new episode of Live from the Lab with Q Unique. We've been doing this once a week. This is actually episode 3. This is the third week we've been doing it. We made a little day shift. We started doing it on Tuesdays, but we found that Wednesdays actually works better for all the schedules involved. So here we are, fresh on a Wednesday, 6 p.m. on the West, 9 p.m. on the East, and wherever your time slot falls in between and all around. Just wanted to give a little gauge of time. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Q Unique, and today's subject, I got my cheat sheets with me right here. Today's subject, we are going to talk about the great, the almighty, all-powerful Public Enemy, ladies and gentlemen. The great Public Enemy. Gotta love PE. Public Enemy is one of one. There's few artists that you could call one of one. Like you could call the late, great Ozzy Osbourne. Obviously, let us all give a little, show a little respect, a little rest in peace to the great Ozzy Osbourne. Prayers to his family. Ozzy Osbourne was indeed one of one, along with Black Sabbath. One of the most important groups to emerge on the music scene. And now that we're talking about Public Enemy, I consider Public Enemy the same thing. It's one of one. You never seen anything like that before nor after. And Public Enemy is one of those groups that made such an impact when they hit, and especially when It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back gained its popularity. It was like a meteor hit. I use that expression a lot, by the way. When something has that incredible impact, it's like a meteor hit and just made this crater. And in Public Enemy's case, we could all agree that they made a monster-sized crater, a Godzilla -1 size crater with their input in music. And what makes Public Enemy very special is how they were able to bring different walks of life together with their message and cross genres. And not only have the hip hop heads' attention, but also had the metal heads' attention, the grunge rockers, the country singers, the house dancers, whatever you have it. Everyone paid attention to Public Enemy. Public Enemy made that kind of an impression and an impact on the world. Chuck D, Flavor Flav, Professor Griff, Terminator X, the S1Ws, and of course the Bomb Squad. What an incredible journey it has been for them. Obviously, as time went on, Chuck had done some solo stuff, Flavor Flav, Professor Griff, even Terminator X dropped a little solo album before he disappeared into obscurity. And I got to say that, man, I've been blessed with the opportunity, along with the Arsonists, that we had the chance to not only be fans of Public Enemy, but we were able to go on tour with Public Enemy, and I'll speak about that in a few. We actually got a very funny story, as usual, that goes along with the Public Enemy tour. But what I also want to say about Public Enemy is how they cross genres to the point where they ended up joining forces with I hate when I forget a name of a band. Somebody's got to look up what was the name of the band. I should be ashamed of myself. I think it's the pressure of looking into a camera and not knowing who's out there. Bring it close. Oh, excuse me. I'm such an ass. So when they joined forces with Anthrax and Anthrax did the Bring the Noise remix, it just solidified the impact that I was referring to. It was just you could see how Public Enemy became important to so many people, their sound, their message, the imagery, the logo, everything about Public Enemy was just almost damn near perfect. And so just a big salute to Public Enemy just for everything that they've done. What I like to say is my top 5 Public Enemy songs before I move into the whole tour story thing. I'm going to start with number 5. I'm going to go with Can't Trust It. What the horn, the way it rolls, everything about that song, everything Chuck said, everything that Chuck and Flavor say on Public Enemy songs, just a necessity. You need to pay attention. You need to listen. Do your homework, of course, check all angles, but pay attention to what they're saying. It's very important. Their message has always been very, very important. Coming in at number 4, I want to say Can't Do Nothing For You, Man, Flavor Flav. I just, in like one of my childhood crews, we used to use that slogan whenever somebody would ask to borrow something, we'd be like, we we would go into the Flavor Flav, the intro, dan, 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 oh, running for your life, and then be like, I can't do nothing for you, man. You want $5 for what? And so we would always go into that as a joke, but that song is so dope. Number 3, I'm gonna say the Shut 'Em Down Pete Rock remix. My God, what a remix! Pete Rock hit the nail on the head with that remix. Pete Rock, at one point, from obviously Pete Rock and CL Smooth, but also Pete Rock, the producer, the DJ, he was killing it during a certain era with his remixes, and the Public Enemy Shut 'Em Down remix was just, it was hypnotic. The horns, the way they felt like they were rotating around the track, the whole sound of it was just brilliant. Coming in at number 2, Night of the Living Bassheads. I love both the original version and the remix. Just brilliant song. The video was brilliant. So many cameos in the video, from MC Lyte to Red Alert to Africa Bam to, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Some comedians, all different types of people. Daddy-O, everybody is, a lot of people, who's who is in the Night of the Living Bassheads video. So if you get a chance, if you haven't seen that video, it's been out for quite some time. Go check it out, but I love that song. And number 1 for me personally is Brother's Gonna Work It Out. I love everything about that song. The production, the lyrics, the bounce, everything. The bass line, the chaos of the noise, but how the Bomb Squad was able to bring all of that chaos through this audio funnel and just make it cohesive and just make sense. It's such a beautiful song. It's one of those songs. It's one of, as an artist, you look at other people's catalogs and occasionally you say, man, I wish I wrote that song, or I wish I produced that beat. And when it comes to Brother's Gonna Work It Out, that's the song that I wish I wrote and produced for sure. I love that song. I'm going to take a little look at what's going on in the chat over here. All right, what up, everybody? I see John Milborn, Thin Glizzy, Javi Osborne, that's a dope one. Reef 81, Erica, Mike Bernat. What's up, Mike B? Yeah, we all here, baby. We all here. So that's my little intro to Public Enemy, my little top 5 list right there. Now, before I move on to my own personal experiences with Public Enemy, I do want to mention that Public Enemy did drop a new album recently called Black Sky Over the Projects, Apartment 2025. In pure Public Enemy fashion, it has like this, I have to give it more listen, but on first listen, it has a very, it's like I said in the intro, they have a way. Maybe it's because of their reputation, maybe it's because of their history, but they have this way of blending 2 genres. They have like this this rock tint to their sound. It is hip hop, but they have this rock tint to their sound. And let's not forget, Chuck D did the supergroup with with Be Real and members of Rage Against the Machine. It's called Prophets of Rage. That was an exciting supergroup. Really dope to catch them live. I was able to buy the vinyl, the limited vinyl pressing, so that was also spectacular. Anyway, I got a little off subject. Public Enemy, new album, Black Sky Over the Projects, Apartment 2025. Make sure you check that out. And simultaneously, Chuck D released a solo album called Enemy Radio, Radio Armageddon. And when I listened to that a couple of times, and that album, surprisingly, it sounded like a musical mosaic. It sounded like a turntablist album. It was a patchwork of sounds and vibes and rhymes and just different directions. It's like an abstract art piece. It's almost like a hip-hop Pink Floyd album with Chuck D as the lead vocalist and a variety of guest features. But that album is pretty sick as well. If you're into deep dives, if you're into not listening to the norm, that album is spectacular. So I would say give those two new albums a listen when you're getting into your Public Enemy phase. I did put together a little Public Enemy playlist on Spotify. I might have to share that. Some of my favorite Public Enemy tracks all in one playlist. But that being said, let me turn over here for a second. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I love the Beastie Boys, by the way. I have a very small experience with the Beastie Boys. I got to open up for them with Company Flow years and years ago. No funny story there. It was just an incredible experience. But that being said, I'm going to tell you my whole experience touring with Public Enemy. Now, unfortunately, let's not start with the unfortunately first. Let's start with getting the news that we were going to tour with Public Enemy. We were ecstatic. It was just one of those things where we already went on tour with The Roots. That was insane. We've done shows with KRS. We've done shows with EPMD. So it was like we were getting this chance to be able to connect with some of our hip-hop superheroes one by one. And now here we are getting booked to go out to Europe with Public Enemy. And it was surreal just getting the news. But to top the surrealness of the news was arriving at JFK, doors open. I got my luggage, got my backpack, my little carry-on, about to go check in. I'm walking, and right there in front of me, in the distance, there's Chuck, there's Flavor, there's Griff, and I don't even know what to do. You know, I want to be composed. I don't want to lose myself. I don't want to be a psycho fan. I don't want to do none of that silliness. I want to play it cool. And I'm thinking, the way I'm thinking, as I'm approaching Chuck first, in my mind, I'm like, just give him a pound, tell him who you are, tell him what group you're in, and, just, say it's an honor to be able to do this and whatever have you. A whole prepared speech going on over in my head. Well, that didn't matter. As soon as I get to Chuck looks me dead in the face. He goes, "What up, Q Unique?" Son, my head almost exploded. It was like, it's one of those moments where you're like, Chuck D knows my name. Chuck D knows the arsonist. What? And it just goes to show you. It just goes to show you the type of person or people that are in Public Enemy. Some people care. Whether it's they care about the group that they're going out with, or they just showing respect, or whatever have you. I don't know Chuck's intentions, although bumping into Chuck every now and then, I could say that he's a real dude. Like, there's certain dudes that are Hollywood, and there's certain dudes that are just real and about what they are. And Chuck is real, and he's about what he is. And so there's a big salute to him. So he says, "What's up, Q Unique?" My whole speech goes out the window. I'm like, da, 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 da. I'm so nervous and just overwhelmed by the whole experience. I give him a pound. I thank him for having the Arsonist on the tour. Tell him I'll meet him on the plane. And I just beeline to the snack area to get my snacks for the flight. And I'm just going over what just happened in my head. That Chuck D said, "What up, Q Unique?" It's like, oh my God. You know what I mean? So we get on the plane, and we're heading over to Italy first. And what was crazy about the flight on the plane, I think we had, I don't know. No, it wasn't. It was there was a layover, and we landed, I think, in Switzerland or something. I don't remember where we landed. This is a while ago. And we had to make a connection to another flight, I think. I might be crossing stories, but this is a crazy story because I thought of us going to Italy. So we get on the plane to go to Italy, and we have to fly over the Swiss Alps to get to Italy, I believe. My geography is all messed up. I sucked at map skills in school. Sorry, Nasty Ruckus. I apologize for that. We'll get to that in a second. We'll get to the Vengeance joint in a second. But right now we're gonna talk Public Enemy, and Arson is touring with Public Enemy. I definitely will get to you. So we get on the plane. We're flying over these Alps, these mountains. And the first thing we noticed as we're getting on the plane was that it was half empty. And what I mean by half empty, they made all the passengers sit towards the back of the plane. The front of the plane was completely empty. So at first we're thinking, shit, I'm going to go take one of the empty seats so I can sleep. And I don't know if it was me or one of us, we went to sit down in the front, and the person that works on the plane, I don't know what their title is called anymore. The person that, the people that work on the plane, they came running over, and they were like, no, you can't sit here for purposes of safety. Now, when a person says safety, you want to go with the laws and the rules of safety. But at the same time, when you're getting on a plane and someone says, for the purpose of safety, you can't sit in that seat, you're scared. You're instantly like, there's a little seed of panic that has been planted in your brain. Now, we're all sitting in the back, plane takes off, maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes in, the plane is doing this. Dip, like heavy drop, boom, zoom. I'm like laughing. If one thing about me that I'll share with you is that at times my emotions, I don't know, maybe it's childhood trauma or whatever have you, but at times when my emotions are peaked, laughter takes over. It's almost like that movie with Joaquin Phoenix when he did the Joker Part 1. Every time he reacted, he laughed. I have that in real life. I don't laugh like that sinister where I'll scare the shit out of you, but I laugh. Like when I watch a sad movie and there's a sad part, I'm going to be laughing. I'm going to be laughing with tears in my eyes, but I'll be laughing. I'll tell you stories about that another time. You got to remind me. It's a story with Fieldy from Korn showing me a sad movie and me going into a heavy laugh attack. But that's a whole nother story when I talk about me and Korn on another episode. Anyway, so I'm laughing. The plane is dipping as if we're about to fly into death. I'm looking to the left of me. There's a lady with her Bible out, holding her rosary, crying, praying. People are panicking. And I'm like, are you kidding me, man? Chuck D just said, what's up, Q Unique? This can't end now. And thankfully, I'm sitting here with you today to let you know we landed safe and sound. We got to Italy. Anyway. So anyway, fast forward, we get to the venue and it's as surreal as you could imagine. It's a massive venue. It's I don't remember who the opener was at the time, but we were direct support. So it was the opener, Arsonist, Public Enemy. Before we get on stage, another surreal moment. We're backstage. Flavor Flav walks into the dressing room, and we're all like children, just geeking out. It's very surreal. And you guys know this. When you see somebody you admire, you hold to just a certain regard, and you're there physically sharing a moment, you're about to take the stage, we're all on tour together. It's a trippy vibe, and it's a trippy feeling. And so there's Flavor Flav. We're all geeking with him. I know we took pictures. I couldn't find any. It sucks. That's the only problem with this. I do have an image to share in a little bit, but I can't find any of the flyers or the posters. I know I lost them, but I was able to find something that's very trippy. I'll share that with you in a second. Can't find any of the pictures. I do have one of the Public Enemy album covers that I had Griff, Chuck, and Flavor sign, but I couldn't find where it is. I did see it recently. Anyway, so Flavor Flav comes in. He says, "What's up?" We're talking. We go out there. Now, one disclaimer that I wanna mention that's very important. Terminator X at that point was no longer the DJ for Public Enemy. He had retired. So at that point, DJ Lord, who I believe still is the Public Enemy DJ, and I know he DJs for Cypress Hill, he was DJing for Public Enemy on this tour. We all, or at least I thought we all knew that. Just hold that in your pocket, because I'm going to get to that in a second, why I'm telling you this. That's a disclaimer for this specific story. So we take the stage. We do our show in Arsonist fashion. We're having a blast. Now, if you've seen the Arsonist on stage, you know that we got down. We were very, very much into our live performance. Very important to us. And then the great Public Enemy. I'm skipping. There's a few shows that we did. I'm zeroing in on one particular show. I believe it was in Milano, Italy. We do our show, and after the show, we all stand on the side of the stage and watch Public Enemy take the stage. And if you've ever seen a Public Enemy show, especially with the S1Ws and Griff, it's just, it's an experience. It's something you definitely want to see. It was amazing to be able to have that kind of an experience, to be on the side of the stage and watch the great Public Enemy do what they do. It was a masterclass. And like I said in the beginning, they are one of one. There aren't any shows like this. I've never seen a show like this. Anyway, at the end of the show, at the end of their set, Chuck says, "Yo, I want the Arsonists to come on stage and cypher with us." My man, I get emotional with things like this. I understand in my faith that that's a miracle. That's a blessing. And it was insane, just the gesture of Chuck saying, "I want the Arsonists to come on stage and cypher with Public Enemy." I've only had three other experiences. I'm bullshitting. I had a few, but this is up there. This is like crazy. I've ciphered with Tribe Called Quest on stage, been on stage with KRS, I've been on stage with Busta Rhymes, been on stage with Korn. This was another insane moment. Now, remember what I told you. Terminator X was no longer DJing for Public Enemy. It was DJ Lord. DJ Lord was DJing for Public Enemy. Anyway, remember that. So we get up, we run on stage. We're fast and furious, wilding, because in our mind, this is an honor. We're all grabbing the mic, taking our turns. Freestyle goes, Destroy goes, Jice goes. Then I go. When I finish, I give it to Swell. Swell is an amazing dude, man. For those that don't know, the members of the Arsonist, Swell in particular, he was like the battery. He was the youngest, and he always had his energy on level 1 million. Always. Always. Unfortunately for Swell, he wasn't paying attention to the DJ's name. So, Swell was trying to be slick, and he's doing his rhymes and stuff, and he's doing like almost like a supernatural, looking at people, what they're wearing, freestyling it in the rhyme, the camera, the lens, this, that, naming members of Public Enemy. And then he gets to the DJ, and it felt like everything was beginning to slow down. Like, you know, in a movie when it's hitting that crucial point where the punchline is coming, and everything seems to just slow down. So Swell is rhyming, and no. And next on the flex, gotta give it up to DJ Terminator X. And we all looked at him like, no. And we looked at DJ Lord, and he just put his head down like, damn. And then we looked in the back, and Professor Griff was like, and in true Arsonist fashion, the rest of us, Jice, Free, D, and myself, we're running. You ever seen dogs when they have the zoomies? We're running all over the stage, laughing at Swell for like 5 minutes. Running. And he's trying to grab us like, stop. But we couldn't stop because his mistake was insane. It was hilarious. Oh my God. Yeah. What's crazy is Terminator X at that point hadn't been with Public Enemy for some years. For some years. And, you know, Swell didn't get the memo. But it was brilliant. It was perfect, man. Oh my God, yo. Yeah, Thing Glizzy, it definitely. I wish Swell was here, man. That's a funny moment. What's up, Andrea? Thank you for all the love. Thank you. What I want to share with you is the only thing that I could find was I have these. So this is trippy. I have this day sheet. I'm not sure what it is. It's in Italian. For some reason, I saved it. And what it shows you is this certain section. Yeah, it shows you this certain section of the Arsonist with Public Enemy. But look at the other name that's on the sheet. It's bizarre. So this is the whole sheet right here, right? Right here, right? But I want to get to the next page. For some reason, I can't get to the next page. So I'm going to have to escape that. Not working. Dope. I'm going to have to come back. Little technical difficulties there. Little technical. All right, here we go. Now I'm going to show you. So I zoomed in on the sheet, and I want y'all to see the names. 1 says Korn. 2 says Arsonist. And 3 says Public Enemy with 2 B's. They spelled it wrong. And it says Clash with Joe Strummer, which is insanely crazy. But look at that. I'm in the middle of Korn and Public Enemy. Now, for those that know my career, Later on, at about 2006, I end up in the Korn Circle going on the road with them for almost 17 years of my life. So that one sheet, I got that in the 90s, late 90s. That's probably about 98, 99. And then I ended up years later on the road with Korn, writing music with Fieldy, and becoming a Korn family member for that period. And so that sheet is crazy. I've sent it to Jonathan and Fieldy, and we just tripped out like, what? That doesn't even make sense. So I don't know if Korn was on the set that day. I don't remember. But that's such a weird thing for me to pull from that whole Arsonist Public Enemy tour, man. And it's such a cool thing to have. I'm gonna have to frame it at some point. But that was something I also wanted to share, a little cool thing that I had from the tour. Another thing I want to share is one of my Public Enemy collectibles. Sometimes if pertaining to the subject, I want to see if I have something in the stash in my archives based on a collectible. And what I have is this Public Enemy figure set. This was amazing. I think I got this for Christmas or my birthday or something, and it's just a brilliant thing to have. This is one of my most cherished pieces. It's a Terminator X figure, Chuck D figure, Flavor Flav, and Professor Griff. They even got them on the back. This is the artwork from a hip-hop comic book that came out. Here's the side. The other side has a little price sticker, but it's got Chuck D on it as well. And like I said, in the back, it's got all the figures and a little description. The name of this company is Press Pop Press Pop Toys, PRESSPOPINC, or Toys. And this is just a beautiful packaging. I'm sure that they made a limited amount. This isn't something you'd see every day. And so if you get this is one of my Public Enemy collectibles that I wanted to share with y'all. Really cool stuff. David Stanley, yes, I was on the latter part of the Family Values tour. I believe, if I remember well, Deftones was on that tour, and I believe the beginning of Stone Sour. I might be getting the Stone Sour part wrong. I might be on the next Korn tour, but I do remember meeting Chino for the first time on Fieldy's tour bus. So that was that 2006. And that's when we wrote the first Stillwell tune, Killing Myself to Live, and shot the video. That's all. But I'm going to save that for the next episode. We're going to talk about Korn soon. So stay tuned for that. BZ Dave, thank you for that question. First, I want to get back to where are we? Who was it? I forgot who asked. Somebody had mentioned The Vengeance Is Mine, and I apologize. Getting off Public Enemy for a second. Vengeance Is Mine, when the 20th anniversary happened last year, I hit a crossroad. I'd spoke about this a few times, but I had hit a crossroad in my career with Q Unique and what I was doing with other music, Stillwell and everything. And I was just at a place where I was trying to figure things out. And to make a long story short, Fieldy from Korn gave me a speech about legacy and taking care of the Q Unique legacy and figuring out what it was bothering me about the Q Unique legacy. And as you could see, if you've been paying attention for the past 4 years, I've done a lot of reconstructing for Q Unique, and I've done a lot of reevaluating and putting out new releases with Pound for Pound and Royal Blood and the Legacy series and all the new singles like It's Not Over and Let's Go Vamonos Andiamo and Remember Me. And so I've been on a grind. And one of the things that I wanted to do was just adjust some of the things that I just could no longer co-sign. with Vengeance Is Mine. I knew that the 20th anniversary was coming up. I knew I was going to remaster it. And so with certain rhymes where I felt like I got a little carried away because of where my mind was at back in 2003, 2004, I wanted to make certain adjustments. It was my way of holding myself accountable for not saying certain things just to get your attention. That's not the kind of lyricist I want to be. And if I want to get your attention with lyrics, it's more of I want to impact you with dignity or cleverness, not just blatant shock value. And there are reasons why I did that, and it was just based off of what I was being influenced by and what I was trying to follow. And it was just a mistake. And so when I approached Vengeance Is Mine this time, there were just certain errors that I wanted to correct. And they needed an upgrade. I didn't touch what I thought were the more important songs, like The Setup and Better You For Me and Better You Than Me or One Shot or Diamond in the Rough. Those songs weren't touched. It was just more of the, the Hot 16 type of songs that I just felt I needed to dial myself in and bring myself along with the listener to where I'm at and where I plan to remain, which is in a more dignified, more clever, more well thought out lyricist. And so that's the deal with Vengeance Is Mine. What's up, Goodfoot? Welcome to the show. Thank you, honey. I'm not sure if I remember you from Trapman, but I do remember Trapman. Oh, I need some creamer in this. Somebody gotta hook me up. No, check. Is this? Check it out, y'all. You like my coffee cup? Shout out to Farrell Munch. Let me get some creamer in that. Thank you. Somebody had asked if I would work with Korn. I have been working with Fieldy for the past 20 years. We've had a band together called Stillwell. I also co-wrote and co-produced his Basically album, and we are currently writing new songs. Fieldy is one of my best friends, along with Jonathan, Head, Monk, and Ray. If you check the first Stillwell video, Killing Myself to Live, even David makes a cameo appearance in that video. So I've been fortunate that those brothers allowed me into their circle. I got a lot of love for Korn. They have been nothing but amazing to me and my family, towards my career, towards my well-being, towards my interests. And I love them dearly, and I always will. Shout outs and much love to my brothers in Korn. Oh, this isn't. I keep on thinking I can scroll on the iPad. it's. I gotcha. My bad. I see. There we go. I got it. I see it. The Pyromaniac song. I'm gonna answer some questions. Obviously, at the top of the show, we were talking Public Enemy. Let me just make sure my Public Enemy notes are cleared. Yeah, I covered everything that I wanted to cover with Public Enemy. I could put my little cheat sheets down for now. There we go. That's the end of the cheat sheets. So Pyromaniacs, that's a good question. Somebody asked about, let me make sure I get the name. BZ Dave, you asked me about Pyromaniacs. I actually produced that track. That track in particular is kind of crazy. That track has a crazy history because the original version is the version that I believe would have made a difference. The remix version, which is the one that's on the album, it did what it did, but the original version was where it was at. That's where we were heading. That was the version that Mr. Chalk, the infamous Mr. Chalk from the world famous Beat Junkies out here in LA, one of the craziest DJ families of all time. Salutes to the Beat Junkies, of course. He had called me one bright and early morning in 1999 and said, Pyromaniacs is an amazing track. You got yourself a hit on your hands, brother. It was a dope call to get. I had to remix the song because we got a threatening letter from a major label based on the original sample. And they said that if I didn't, or if we didn't change the track, that they were going to make an example out of us. That's what they said in the letter. I got to find the letter. It was it's a crazy letter to receive from such an esteemed record label, but it is what it is. So we changed it. It became what it became. It's a very quirky song. I think everybody did their thing on that song. That album obviously celebrated its 25th anniversary last year. And it's a special album. It's one of the most important albums I've ever been a part of. So shout outs to my arsonist brothers, and thank you for that question. I don't think I see any more questions for now. What up, Dove? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to give a special shout out to Mike B and Dove. They're from Viper Records. Viper Records is responsible for the recent Q Unique activity, releasing It's Not Over, Let's Go Vamonos Andiamo, and of course, Remember Me. Dove has been down and helping me for the past year, maybe almost 2 years now. She's the reason why I'm doing YouTube Lives, and you've been seeing a lot more of me on the shorts and reels. So for you artists out there that are looking to improve your social status, your feeds, your YouTubes and all of that, I would holler at Dove and see what you could work out business-wise. She's amazing at what she does. And Viper Records will always be in my heart. So shout outs and salutes to them, of course. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're going to do. This time. Oh, okay. Somebody had asked. Wait, I got one more question. Where are we? John Milburn. Okay, there we go. John Milburn. I got to do some quick reading. I don't have my glasses on. I'm not trying to wear no glasses on a live feed. He asked me, how did I come up with the name Q Unique? That's a dope question. What's crazy is about your question, just a step ahead. I've been thinking about changing my name for a long time. I wanted to change it to Q DeVita because I wanted to pay homage to my mother and my father. Q is my last name, Quiles, and DeVita is my mother's last name. My father's Puerto Rican, my mother's Italian. And so I wanted, especially when you see names like Eric Sermon and Keith Murray and all of that good stuff, I was like, man, I should have called myself Q DeVita. So, but the name Q Unique, Q came up just based off of my last name. I've had teachers call me Q because my last name was very different coming up in the school system. Quiles wasn't your average Latino name. Go figure, my dad always making things difficult. Only playing, man. Much love to that dude. And the Unique was one of my first managers early in the game. I was a kid when I started in the biz. I was still a teenager. And being the way I looked, as a kid, I didn't look like this. I looked more like Ralph Macchio. I didn't have a lot of facial hair and all of that good stuff. I looked like the Karate Kid trying to rap. And so the first manager I had, just looking at me, her perspective was, you're a very unique situation. And so that just stuck. The Q, attaching it to Unique, it just stuck. And the whole name was birthed right there on the spot. So that's how the name Q Unique had happened, ladies and gentlemen. Thin Glissy. I have not worked with Timmy Chunks from Token Entry unless he went by a different name. I'm not familiar. Token Entry is dope. But no, sir, I have not worked with Timmy Token Entry. Sorry about that. David Stanley. Yes, I am good with C-. C- is one of my favorite people on the planet. I would love, eventually when I start having guests on my podcast. I would love to have him. He's told me, you know, when you've been in the business long enough, you end up having these crazy stories, and C- is no stranger to crazy stories. He's cut from the same cloth that I'm cut from. We're multi-genre artists. You know, C- has been able to carefully balance his life between both hip hop and rock and beyond. You know, he's been in the jazz world. He's done several things. Most DJs are blessed with the fact that they could just jump from genre to genre and assimilate, and it's really dope. And C- he's an amazing dude, an amazing DJ, and I got a lot of love for C-, man. A lot of love for all the beat junkies in general. Speaking of the beat junkies, I'm currently working on an album with DJ Rhetmatic. It's coming out really dope. Stay tuned for that. I'll have more announcements about that as we approach the release of that album. So that's the deal with that. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I want to get into the rhyme part of this segment. I do this usually towards this time frame of. I think I got another question up on the pad there. What up, Goodfoot? Thank you for staying. Hope you're still in the room. Thank you. Thank all of you for watching this. This is my third episode. It's a little better with the lighting this time around, and I'm a little more organized. Last episode I was a little frazzled, but we're back. We're everything's tight now. But anyway, so we're gonna get into the next segment of the show. I'm gonna spit a little bar for y'all, just highlighting some of the Q Unique songs in the catalog. So we're gonna do a little pause, and then you're gonna meet me in the mic booth. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into the mic booth. Yeah, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to get into a new joint today. This one's off the Royal Blood album, produced by Jake Palumbo, scratches by DJ Presto One. This one's called Bad Meaning Good, ladies and gentlemen. Check it. Yeah, bad meaning good now. Bad meaning good now. Bad meaning good. Hey yo, I shatter dreams like LeBron James. You're more of a pawn in the chessboard of God's games. Got you in checkmate. Papa lead shots through your breastplate. Pull back the black hoodie. Take a look at death's fate. Anton Sugar calling the coin toss. Keep a Southern vampire getting your boy lost. Press and politics making my groin soft. I'ma spaz out with a battle axe and a loincloth. The image of a barbarian, it's quite a spectacle. Against the Cthulhu warrior, I slice his tentacles. Something out of District 9 alien weaponry. A Kumo D crew triple the treachery. Bad meaning good now. Bad meaning good now. Good. Bad meaning good now. Bad, I'm bad, meaning good now, good. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for that. That's Bad Meaning Good off the Royal Blood album. You can see the video on my YouTube channel. It's streaming everywhere worldwide. Let's get back to the desk. See you there. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We back. Thank y'all. What up, Alyssa? Wubby Wub in the house. Oh, we got a toast to Wub, ladies and gentlemen. That's my brother right there. Little cafe, little black coffee, 2 sugars. Actually, I cheated. There's a little creamer in here. You know the deal. Wub, for those that don't know, Wub, drummer from POD. He and I worked on a few albums together under the Stillwell banner. Also the Southtown Generals and all of that good stuff. Shout out, props, and much love to Brother Wub being in the room tonight, man. Beautiful soul, beautiful man. Salute to you, Wub. Ladies and gentlemen, show that guy some love right there. Yes, sir. Let's get some. There we go. That's for Wuv right there. Thank you, Wuv. Thank you for showing up, baby. So, yes. So here we are. This is the third episode of this show, and I want to thank you guys for hanging out. Still working certain things out, but as you can see, we are up and running. What I do want to say is at 8 o'clock tonight. Where are we at? Oh, we're almost at the 7 o'clock mark. So at 8 o'clock tonight, if you are into what I do in rock music, please go check the premiere of the new video for the Mother Fuzz, my project, Mother Fuzz, dropping a new video tonight for the song called Bury Me. It's been streaming everywhere for the past few days. And tonight we're premiering the official video. So it's 8 p.m. on the West, 11 p.m. on the East. Please show up. I would appreciate it. I'll be in the chat watching the premiere with you guys. So it would mean a lot to me. If you like what I do in rock. If you don't, kick rocks. Nah, let me stop. I'm fucking with you, man. If you know, this stuff is heavy. The stuff I'm doing, Mother Fuzz, is a little heavier. And I'm excited about it. And actually, it's good that Wuv is here, because Wuv is one of the few people that have encouraged me as an artist to pursue my dreams. He's been there with me every step of the way to evolve to my evolution, not only as a lyricist, but as a vocalist. He's written a grip of songs with me and been one of the few people that has given me the okay to move forward. So thank you, Wuv, for that again. What I do want to get at is, again, for those that don't know, I am a multi-genre artist. I do hip-hop, I do rock. And so once again, just a reminder, tonight on the Mother Fuzz YouTube channel, you could just type in Mother Fuzz. You'll find it, MOTHERFUZZ, Mother Fuzz. 2 different words. There's other videos there that we premiered, and they're awesome. We've only put out 3 songs. This will be song number 3, actually. And it would mean the world to me if some of you could show up. If all of you could show up, that'd be amazing. Just come see the premiere on the Mother Fuzz channel. I would really and greatly appreciate that. John Milburn, my thoughts on Third Base. Very important hip hop group. And you got to understand, John, that's a good question, because third base plays an important role in my career, because MC Search, along with DJ Eclipse, put out the second Arsonist single, for those that don't know, under the Searchlight logo, under the Searchlight record label. That was Venom and Seed. So MC Search helped the Arsonists in our travels, in our journey. So not only are they important to hip hop and what they brought to the table, but obviously they're very important and vital to my career because of what Search did. He helped the movement for the Arsonists. So salute, Search, Pete Nice, Third Base. Much love to y'all, for reals. Thank you, honey. Have a good night to you too. The gas face, for reals. Where was I going with all of this? I don't remember. Anyway, the coffee's going to kick in any minute. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you for joining me tonight. Again, this episode was about the great Public Enemy and my experience touring with Public Enemy and hanging out with Chuck, Flav, and Griff, and Lord, and the S1Ws. And it was just an amazing experience to be able to go out with them. If you missed any of it, just, hit rewind, son. Go to the beginning of the episode. There's other episodes that I speak about, other experiences with other groups. Go check it out as well. And make sure you tune in next week. Next Wednesday, 6 p.m. this time, we'll be talking about a whole new subject, whole new experience, and some funny stories. Once again, salute to the almighty Public Enemy for everything that they've done, not just for hip hop, but for all of music. One of the most important groups to ever exist in the music industry. And also, what I want to do right now, closing out, I just want to have a moment of silence for the late, the great Ozzy Osbourne. I'm going to share a quick story. Unfortunately, with all the Korn stories that I have, unfortunately, I never got to meet Ozzy. But I will say that what people don't know, and Wub knows this, I named the Stillwell mascot Peter because my cousin Peter Casalino, was the first to introduce me to heavy music when I was just a kid, was a child. He, obviously, my older cousin, was a massive Black Sabbath album. I'm talking, went to see Black Sabbath several times, had all the original pressings. And whenever I would go visit my aunt and my cousins, he would sit me down, take out the vinyl, and play Black Sabbath records. And as a kid, I didn't understand at the time what that was. I just knew I liked it a lot. I loved the aggression. I loved the sound. I loved Ozzy's vocals. I loved everything about it. And so to pay homage to my cousin Peter, fast forward, when I got a chance to do Stillwell with Fieldy and Wov, I wanted to pay respects to my cousin Peter and name the mascot after him. And it was because of Black Sabbath that it ignited something in my brain. So nothing but prayers, love, and respect to the Black Sabbath family, to the Osbournes, and salute and respect to the memory of Ozzy Osbourne. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for hanging out for this episode 3 of Live from the Lab. Tune in next Wednesday, 6 p.m. We'll all be here. We'll come up with a whole new subject of crazy shit to talk about. Thank you. Much love to you and yours. Have an amazing weekend. And do me a favor, spread love. I don't care what people believe in, what their politics are, what their this are. None of that shit matters when love is your intention. Spread love. Spread love. Spread love. Sorry, I couldn't see what the pad said. Anyway, just tune in next week for a new episode of Live from the Lab. Thank y'all. Much love to y'all. We are out of here. Peace.